All right, so as many of you know, we are actually moving to Florida in May. I'm so excited. This has been a long time coming. The house is already sold, and the problem we're running into now is we can't get in front of a house before it sells. So we're headed down there for the week so we can be there to see houses on the spot. As you can see, Murphy is coming along for the ride. We are completely packed in here. There will be 3 adults and 2 children in here. The oldest will be in the back. I got him some headrest so he can lean his head on his side and fall asleep if he needs to. We got this as a gift from the company that makes them. I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like, but my wife is very excited to try that pillow out. And let's take a look at the trip we have, because we have over 1,000 miles. But with this new update that came some time ago, it doesn't tell you exactly how many miles it is anymore, which is kind of annoying, kind of frustrating. But let's take a look at what we have in front of us. Our first stop, as always, is in Louisville. It is on the south side of Louisville, which is yet another new charging station. So there's now 3 in Louisville, I believe. Yeah, no, 4 in Louisville. Yeah, there's a lot. So that's really good. Louisville's always been congested from a travel perspective, but we've got to go to Louisville, and then it wants us to go down and take the funky route straight down to Georgia. We may veer off and go to Nashville as normal, but we'll just wait and see. My hope is to make it somewhere around the Georgia state line before the end of the night. So that's kind of the idea. As it sits right now, if we left in this moment, we would be in Georgia at about 11:45, about midnight. The boys won't let us drive that late, but we'll just wait and see what happens. Then we can finish the drive in the morning. We are headed to the Tampa area. We've got an Airbnb. It's going to be great. About 1,000 miles. And I'm going to go ahead and get everybody loaded up. We should be in Louisville about 5:30 by the time we get everybody in the car. So with that, I'm excited to finally be back on the road. Another road trip on the way. Hope that you enjoy this one. Let's make it to Louisville. Well, it's finally road trip time again. Headed to Florida, as you probably guessed. We're all packed up and ready to roll. The boys are all nice and covered in there. And the dog, Murphy. Can't wait to see you guys out there. All right, so we arrived in Louisville. We are here at 18%, so pretty close to what I projected. We actually made really good time. So we're supposed to be here for 35 minutes, and then we'll head to Cookeville, Tennessee. And if you recall on any of our previous videos, this is not what I usually prefer. It is still light out, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I've done this route a couple of times. I usually prefer the Nashville because it's all highway, but we're just gonna go ahead and go for it. The downfall of that is you do have to charge in Cookeville all the way, or that full 40 minutes, whatever. Going back up, I believe you need to get 100% because you're going uphill or whatever, something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get plugged in. Should be here for about 35 minutes. And the wife and one of the children went into Meyer. So the dog and I are gonna get plugged in and get a walk in. All right, so we're wrapping up charging at 85%, so that's 2 minutes, but we'll get there at 10%. We do have to be careful because we're starting to get into the mountains. So I will let it finish up for those 2 minutes. Should be about 86% arrival, 10, 11%. Should be there in about 1 hour and 2 minutes. That's not right. Should be there in about 3 hours and 6 minutes. It's quite a long leg, actually, 161 miles. But I feel pretty good with that level of charge. The reason it takes so long because you're not really on the highway much of this stretch here. It's all like this back road once you get to Cave City. So we're gonna go ahead and unplug and get rolling now. Pulled in here at Cookeville, Tennessee, 10%, and a little bit ahead of schedule again. As always, time has changed. We're now in Central, even though we're moving east. But anyways, supposed to be here for 35 minutes, and then we'll be in Adairsville, Georgia. I'm going to look while we're here. I am going to get some food. There's a grocery store, but there's a Jimmy John's right around the corner. And I'm going to look for a hotel while we're here. So I'm going to go ahead and get plugged in. It is just a V2. The last one was a V3. So let's get plugged in and we'll talk about the plan. That last leg was 163 miles, 53 kilowatt hours consumed, 324 watt hour per mile. So not too bad. So for the trip so far, 314 miles, 104 kilowatt hours, 332 watt hour per mile. All right, so here's the deal. That route, I don't know why I continue to do it. I keep forgetting how my oldest deals with motion sickness, and we had to pull over twice. So if you have anybody in the family that has any issues like that, that is not the route to take. So I have to keep reminding myself. I just need to force myself to go through Nashville. You should probably consider doing the same. You can save time because those roads, the speed limit's not that high, but there's nobody out there, and the twisties are a lot of fun if you're by yourself. So, but I went to go get Jimmy John's. It's closed, unfortunately, so I'm trying this pizza place. So we'll see if it's any good. It looks pretty good anyways. So we'll see how good it is, but should be wrapping up charging here in about 15 minutes. Hopefully I can scarf down some food between now and then. All right, so we were able to get a hotel. It took a little bit more time than I was expecting, but we're gonna stop in Chattanooga tonight before finishing the trip in the morning. An hour and 40 minutes to get there. It's only 100 miles away, but by using PlugShare, I'm able to find hotels that have a destination charger. It doesn't mean it'll be available, and it could be blocked, but we are overcharged anyway, so we should be good. So in this situation, just make sure you have enough charge to make it to another supercharger. So in this case, we could at least go to Adairsville, and I believe there's one in Chattanooga. It's not a great one, but that's the plan. We're gonna head to the hotel, be there about 10:20 local time, about 11:20 our time. So gonna go ahead and get unplugged at 94%. All right, so it looks like the plan paid off. We have a wall connector right back there. Yeah, anyways, it's back there. You can see it behind the dog somewhere, wherever the dog went. Anyways, that was a fiasco getting checked in, but this did pay off. And the reason is we have a wall connector. There's 3 of them here. 1 of them's already used, and there's 2 open. So in the morning, we will have a full charge, which means we get to skip a charger, which makes this trip faster by staying where there's a charger. Anyways, to do this, you have to have PlugShare. It's the only way I know of to do this, but you basically have to look at every single charging point in a location that's on your route until you find a hotel that you want to stay at. And then you go and see if that hotel is available. It is not a seamless process, but that's how you do it. And then once you do that, you're gambling, hoping that one of those stalls is open. And in some cases, people just park there. They don't even care. So it can be a gamble, but this time it did pay off. Usually it pays off, but let's see how that last leg was. All right, looks like that last leg was 100 miles, 32 kilowatt hours, 324 watt hour per mile. So we're sitting around 330, which is kind of amazing considering the car's completely full. But that's all likely to change tomorrow once we get to more normal driving conditions when we're out of the mountains. Usually going up, it's less efficient, but we had a lot of downhill. So it washes out to some extent. Anyways, tomorrow should be a really good representation. It's 71 degrees, so weather's been perfect for this trip. So hopefully we end just below 330. I'd be very happy with that, with a full load like this. That's actually really good. So let's take one look real quick of what we have for tomorrow. So we have a number of stops left to go before we make it to Tampa. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get to skip this one. which isn't very far away, but at least 4 more stops. I think if we look at 9 a.m. it says, which is 10 hours, about 10 hours or so to go, including charging. So anyways, I'm gonna plug this in, and then in the morning we'll take a look and see what we have in front of us. It should be about 600 miles. Unfortunately, we didn't make it super far tonight, but that's just how it goes. So with all that, Murphy and I will catch you in the morning. All right, we got a great night's sleep. Even the dog slept really well. Got the car charged up this morning. I bumped our charge level from 90% to 100. So let's take a look at what we have in front of us. All right, so we're at 96% right now, and we have a lot of driving ahead of us. Looks like we'd be there at 5:30 if we left right now, straight through. So I think that's what, 8 hours, 9 hours, 9 hours, 9.5 hours. So 9.5 hours to go. We got a number of stops along the way. As you remember, last night it said there were 5 stops. Now there's 4 because we had a charger here. So we did get to skip one. So we'll make it through Atlanta. And this next stop is 2 hours to go, 147 miles. Should be there about 10:15 at 20%. All right, here we are at McDonough, Georgia. It's a new charging station, all V3, but there's a bunch of stuff. There's a mall here, I think, but plenty of things to eat. We did arrive at 24%. That last leg was 150 miles, 339 watt-hour per mile. As you can see, it's rainy, maybe a little bit on and off, not a whole lot, but we're supposed to be here for 20 minutes, so not too bad, and then we'll head to Cordele, which I believe is also a V3, and Valdosta, which I know is a V3. Ocala, I'm not so sure yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get plugged in, and we're gonna get this charging going, get the dog out, let him get a walk in. All right, so we're wrapping up charging, 1 minute to go, should be at 75%. Next stop is going to be Cordele. Should arrive at 14%. And we're looking at an hour and 37 minutes, 113 miles. Gonna go ahead and unplug now. All right, so here we are at Cordele. It is a V3. We're here at 18%. That last leg was 114 miles, 40 kilowatt hours, 348 watt-hour per mile. As you can see, it's been raining, so that's been raining on our efficiency. Got a little bit of Christian chicken of choice for our lunch. So I'm gonna go ahead and get plugged in. Supposed to be here for about 20 minutes. All right, so we're wrapping up charging, 62%. This was a quick charge, really nice. Should arrive at Valdosta at 14%. We have 85 miles to go, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Should be there right before 2 o'clock, which is perfect. I believe Valdosta is a V3, which is our last V3 on this trip, because in Florida, we start to hit the V2 chargers. So, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug now and get to Valdosta. made it to Valdosta. Supposed to be here for 25 minutes. It is V3. That last leg we did 87 miles, 344 watt-hour per mile. The rain has finally gone away. 30 kilowatt hours consumed. 22%. Gonna go ahead and get plugged in. Be here for about 25 minutes in the back of a gas station. And I think there's a Moe's Southwest Grill, so decent option, I guess. All right, so we are gonna finish charging up now. 79%. Should arrive at Ocala at 11%. Ocala is only a V2, so we will be there for just a little bit. Should be there in about 2 hours, 140 miles. Gonna go ahead and unplug now. Alright, so we arrived at 13%, only supposed to be here for 20 minutes, and the nice thing is, right next to our hotel tonight is a supercharger. It's only a V2, but it doesn't matter. It's right by the hotel, so we don't have to overcharge too much while we're here. That last leg, however, was 140 miles, 47 kilowatt hours consumed, 337 watt hour per mile. Gonna go ahead and get plugged in now. It's a really good spot. I haven't seen my wife in a while now, because there's an outlet store over there, or strip mall with all the, you know what I'm saying, the TJ Maxx stuff. So, good spot, gonna plug in now. All right, so a nice quick charge, pretty awesome. We're sitting here at 63%. We only have 93 miles to go to get the hotel, an hour and 22 minutes it says, and we should arrive at 18%. Again, plenty to go because that charger is right across the street from our hotel. So super convenient. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug and we're gonna wrap this up, get checked into the hotel. Alright, so we just arrived at the hotel. Pretty excited. Arrived right on time, right on charge expectations. 18%, 553. So it's that last leg. We are looking at 94 miles, 343 watt hour per mile, 32 kilowatt hours consumed. The whole trip down here, 999 miles. Dang it. 337 kilowatt hours consumed, 337 watt hour per mile. That's some interesting numbers there. But anyways, that's where we're at. So what I'm going to do is get the car unpacked and then head across the street and hit up the charger over there to get us topped off. So overall, it was a very successful road trip as usual. I expect roughly the same on the way home. It's funny, even my wife has mentioned now at this point, it's interesting to see how the supercharging network, which has always been the best, continues to get even better, because on this trip, until we got down here, I'm pretty sure we were V3 superchargers the whole way until we got to Florida. And the last road trip that I took down this way, that was the same thing that caught my attention right away. So rather than having to split like I am at this moment with a Model S right next to me at this V2, regardless of your state of charge, even if you can't utilize the full V3 capacity at 250 kilowatt charge rate, it prevents you from ever having to split charging, which is a big deal. So that makes a big difference in the end, is having V3, so that way you have dedicated charging. So with all of that, I'm pretty happy with this trip. What did we do? 337 watt hour per mile, I believe. 337 watt hour per mile, considering this car was filled to the max. There was a lot of extra weight in this car with all of our luggage, and then all the human beings sitting in here, and the dog, of course. But we all fit just fine. Probably the dog would have liked a little bit more room, but he was able to lay down back there because I left one of those seats folded down and a blanket and all that stuff. So it did worked just fine. A Model X would be really nice, but this definitely works just fine. So make sure you're subscribed so you can catch part 2 on our way home. We're going to be down here for the whole week. I'm going to be working from Tampa during the day, and then at night we're going to be looking at houses because we already sold our house at home, and now we got to find a place to live. So it's a mad rush to try to find a place to live. So wish us the best of luck while we're here in Tampa. And of course, we'll be back down this way very soon as we make the actual move. I hope that you enjoyed this one because we will be having the trip back home next. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Bearded Tesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.